So what's the cost for owning a V8 Vantage Aston Martin for 4 years? Let's find out. So what does it cost to buy and maintain an Aston Martin V8 Vantage for 4 years? I think you may be shocked. Well, this car I bought almost exactly 4 years ago to the day. The car was delivered on the 20th of September 2018, and today is the 24th of September 2022. So I've had the car almost exactly 4 years. In that time, I've put almost exactly 10,000 miles on it. So the car had 33,000 miles at delivery, actually a little over 33,000 miles, and now it has a little over 43,000 miles on it. So that should give you a little bit of context as to the car is a driver, but it's not a daily driver, but it is definitely driven. So starting with the price of the car. The price of the car, sale price was $38,000 for this car. The car was in it was in Florida. It was in Miami, so I had to bring the car up from Miami, and I used kind of a white glove service. It was a covered transport, and the cost for that, and that was a door-to-door covered transport. That was $1,850 for that. So now the car is there. It's at home, but I still have to put it on the road. And how do you do that? Well, you have to register the car, which means paying sales tax. So in this state, sales tax was $2,565 plus an additional $105 to register it. So that brought the car here to me on the road for $42,520, give or take. I may be off, by the way, a couple of dollars here and there for some of these quotes, but that's $42,500 was here and on the road. So now what about maintenance? So because that's the thing that people worry about. It's like, oh, well, the maintenance and parts, are they going to kill you? Well, let's see. Let's find out. So when I first got the car, it was supposed to be a good day, and then sure enough, when I turned it on, I was basking in the glow of the check engine light. So it took me actually a few weeks to figure out what the heck was wrong with it, because the car kept saying that the gas cap was loose. And I would check the gas cap, and the gas cap is definitely not loose. And meanwhile, when I was driving it around, I would smell gasoline. And so I thought, oh, geez, what the heck is going on here? I was about to buy a new gas cap when I saw that the gas cap that they use for this car is the same that they use for Land Rover. A Land Rover LR3, I believe. And so I bought one of those for $35. And while I was looking at it, and I was looking at the Aston Martin one, I realized there was something different about my Aston Martin, the Aston Martin's gas cap. It was missing something from the inside, which is a little valve and a little spring that allows air to come into the gas tank as it draws down and prevents it from imploding, but doesn't allow gas fumes to come out. That was missing. So what probably happened was the previous owner dropped the gas cap. It broke apart. The spring came out, the valve came out. He quickly snapped it back together, put it back on the car, and that's what was going wrong. That's why it kept telling me I had no gas cap, when of course I did have a gas cap. It just didn't have a valve inside of it. So that was a $35 repair. Not too bad for that one. The other thing that happened almost right away, I think this was within a month or two, the thermostat went on the car. Now, when the thermostat goes, the car basically just doesn't heat up, and then that also throws a check engine light. You can buy one from Aston Martin for I think $250 or something like that. You could also buy a Jaguar one for $90, but you can also buy a Ford one, and all three of them are exactly the same. In fact, all three of them say Fomoco on them. And the Ford one is $23. So plus shipping, that was another $35 repair. I did that myself. It's a messy job because it does spill a little bit of coolant out. So between the $35 for the thermostat and I'm assuming like another $15 for coolant that I had to replace. I replaced the battery in the car, which I probably didn't have to do, but I'm a big fan of Optima batteries. The one that I replaced weighed 12 pounds less than the Optima battery weighed 12 pounds less than the one that came with the car. Plus, it's a deep cycle. I don't drive the car every day, so I think I need a deep cycle battery, just so that it'll last longer. And the fact that it's lighter is a great thing. So that was $225. When I bought the car, also at delivery, the door, which is held up by door struts, which you probably can't see on camera. Well, the doors are swan doors in this car, and they're held up by struts, and those were gone. And if the struts are not working, the door does not stay open. It just slams on your ankle, which is not fun. In addition to that, the hood shocks were also worn. So I went to look under the hood of my new car and to bask in the glory of the wonderful engine, and lifted up the hood, and of course it came down and hit me in the head. So the door struts were actually pretty cheap. There were $65 for that, and it was $90 for the hood struts. Now the hood struts in this car are jewel-like. They're painted silver, and they have the Aston Martin wings, the wing badge on it. So you have to really get the original ones for that. So that's why they were a little bit expensive. Usually hood struts will run you no more than $50, but they were $90 for this car. Let's see. It also needed brake pads. Brake pads were $375 for all four wheels. That's a lot for brake pads, but that's nothing compared to how expensive brake rotors are for this car. Brake rotors are about $550 to $600 a piece, so times 4, that adds up. Luckily, the brake rotors in this car are fine, but the pads were very worn, mostly just in the rear. So that was $450. The car needed tires. When I bought the car, it had mismatched tires. So it had Potenza tires in the front, which dreadful tires, and then it had Michelin AS3s in the back, which is not even Michelin's best tire. It's really an all-season tire. It doesn't belong on this car. So I replaced those tires with Michelin Pilot Sport S, which is the tire to have for this car. The only thing that you would go that's better than the Sport 4S is maybe Cup 2s if you were doing serious track work, but the Pilot Sport 4S absolutely totally changed the character of this car, made it ride better, made it grip like it never gripped before. Just an amazing transformation. But that was $1,500, and nowadays would probably be even more expensive than that. And that was in 2020 that I did the tires. Since owning the car and doing 10,000 miles, I've done 3 oil changes. I use Mobil 1 full synthetic 50 weight oil in this car, and I use Aston Martin filters with the Aston Martin logo and everything else. You can buy, if you search on eBay, you can find a filter for like $35. They're not expensive. And I actually buy my oil. I have it sent to my house. I get it from online. It's sent to my house, and it's usually about $70. So I figure about $105 times 3 for the 3 times I've changed the oil in this car. And that's actually it. That's all I've actually done to this car. If I were to start it up right now, there are no check engine lights. Everything is fine. I did not talk about insurance because insurance varies too much between people and where you live and that sort of thing. But I will say, this car to insure is about the same as any normal car. I have full coverage on it, and in my case, I pay less than $100 a month for full coverage. And I'm also not going to talk about gas because fuel mileage is terrible in this car. I get like 15 miles per gallon, but you have to pay gas. You don't buy this car because it's economical anyway. So that's going to be more expensive. But in terms of what it costs to get the car on the road and to maintain it for almost 4 years to the day is, wait for it, grand total of $45,176. Not bad. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, subscribe. I'm starting to get more and more subscribers, and I've had some great comments, and they really, the positive comments that I get from people really keep me going, because this is really just a hobby for me. So subscribe, comment, and I'll be definitely producing some more videos on the Aston Martin, maybe some other cars coming up down the road. So see you soon.